Aloha and welcome to Cooking with Dino Mama. Today I am making a fig and pig quiche, but feel free to leave out the pig or even the fig. This episode is not sponsored by anyone, and anything I use or that you see is what is available in my home or local grocery. First, we have to make the crust. If you prefer, you can use a pre-made one, but otherwise, follow along. Add 1.5 cups of whole wheat or all-purpose flour and half a teaspoon of kosher salt and a teaspoon of Italian spice or oregano in a mixing bowl and whisk it all together. Cut one stick, 8 tablespoons of cold butter into cubes, and using a pastry blender or 2 knives, cut it into the flour until piece-sized crumbs form. This should take about 5 minutes and is a great forearm workout. You could also use a food processor on pulse for about 30 seconds. Sprinkle 1/4 cup of ice cold water into the mixture and mix with a wooden spoon. If necessary, add one more tablespoon at a time until the flour begins to form a dough. If you're using a food processor, pulse in between additions. Once you have a dough, form it into a ball. Flatten slightly, wrap in plastic, not wax because it will stick, and chill in the fridge for 30 minutes. The Mamenchosaurus sinoconiodorum, discovered in Xinjiang province in China in 1987, is a sauropod from the late Jurassic period and is determined to have the longest neck of any dinosaur on record, stretching 15.1 meters, that's 50 feet, based on analysis of its vertebrae. And now, back to our quiche. It's been at least 30 minutes, so it's time to move on to our filling. Preheat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit and place a rack in the middle. On a lightly floured surface, with a small amount of flour on the side, use a rolling pin to roll the dough into a 13-inch circle. Turn the dough over as you go to prevent it from sticking to the mat. Add more flour as necessary. If your mat is like mine and only measures to 12 inches, just measure over the line. Place the crust into a 9-inch pie dish. I have not yet found an easy way to do this, but when I do, I'll let you know. Use your fingers to fold any overhang and to fix and crimp the edges nicely. It doesn't need to be too pretty because it's not a pie, but do make sure the dough is even and there are no gaps. Prick the bottom several times with a fork. This will help to prevent a soggy bottom. Lay a piece of parchment paper large enough to cover the entire pie over the top and weigh it down with pie weights. Bake the crust in your preheated oven for 20 minutes. And while the pie is baking, we'll work on our quiche filling. Chop up some scallion and 3 strips of bacon if using. If using whole kale, chop up 2 cups and remove the stems, or cheat like me and use the bagged stuff. Lastly, destem and slice 4 figs into quarters. You can definitely use more if you like, or none if it's out of season. This will still be filling and delicious. In a medium bowl, whisk together 8 eggs, half a cup of feta, 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon garlic salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, and set it aside. Heat a skillet over medium heat and add the scallion and bacon and cook, stirring occasionally until lightly browned, about 5 minutes. Add the kale, and if not using bacon, add a tablespoon of olive oil. If you are, the bacon grease will do the trick. And cook for another minute, stirring frequently so all the kale wilts. I love figs, so I'm adding in the chopped figs so they'll be inside the quiche and are truly the star. Grill them with the kale for about a minute and set aside until our crust is ready. Once the crust is done, using oven mitts, remove it from the oven. Remove the parchment paper and the pie weights from the tin and return the crust to the oven for another 8 to 10 minutes, just so the bottom turns a light golden color. Pull the pie out of the oven and lower the temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's fill it. Transfer the kale mixture into the crust and spread it out evenly. Pour the egg mixture on top. Arrange the figs on top and cook the quiche on the center rack for 50 to 60 minutes until the egg is set and the top is golden. Once done, transfer the quiche to a rack to cool for at least 10 minutes. Don't be like this Dino Mama who always likes to dig right in. Run a knife around the edge to loosen, cut, and serve. Thank you for joining me today in Dino Mama's kitchen. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy, and remember, only nice people get sweets.